Designers. Welcome to a tutorial on how to make a selection based on a color range. So I've got my artwork here, and for this demo, I'd like to change this kind of tannish gold color. So I'm going to make my selection by using color range under the select drop down in your Photoshop toolbar. When I click on that, I'm going to get a color picker, just like your quick command I, and as I cursor over it, I'm going to make sure I get just this color. Now you can increase the fuzziness in that range to include more or less. This works great with gradient, but mine are very, very bright standalone colors with no gradient. So anywhere in the mid 40s is a good rule of thumb for this. So I'm going to say OK, and you're going to see the dancing ants appear. Now, two different ways to change the color here. I can grab a brush tool, quick command B. Let's make a nice big hard-edged brush. Go over here, pick, I don't know, a bright blue, and cursor over the selected area and fill it in blue. I can also go back, still selected, and pick the second method, which is an adjustment layer. And you guys know by now adjustment layers are a great way to make adjustments to your image that are not committed. So they're going to be still a separate adjustment layer. For this one, I'm going to use a solid color, and I can move my cursor around in this slider until I find just the right color for it. Now, in all honesty, my plan here is to turn this entirely black and white, so I'll go ahead and pick black, say OK. Nice thing is I can come back to my color picker tool and change it at any time. Now I'm going to do this again a different way to select the pink. So I'm going to go back to my artwork, and I'm going to grab my magic wand. I'm going to click on this. Did a great job selecting that color range. Hold the shift key down. See that little plus sign pop up? And get the rest of the pink areas. Now to fill it in, again, two different ways. I can grab a brush tool and simply brush the image in. Only reason that I don't recommend this is because you may miss part of the selection. So I'm going to go back to my magic wand. It is all the pink is selected, and add again a solid color gradient. We can move it around until our heart's content for the color, but again, I just wanted this in black and white. Now I'm going to print this on a 2-up 8.5 by 11, so I need to size it down to at least 5 inches in width. So I'm going to start off by just cropping in on the sides because I'm going to need this to be a little bit tighter. The purpose of this graphic is to turn into an inverted digital negative to make a cyanotype print with. I think that looks great. So let's go check under image size. We want to make sure we're at 300 ppi. That looks great. And with our constrained proportions, let's make our width 5. Say OK. I think that looks perfect. I'm going to hit V to get rid of my cropping tools and Command plus to size up. Take a look at my edges. I think that looks awesome. One last thing I'm going to do is go back to my artwork layer, not the 2 adjustment layers. Remember, we can always turn those off and it goes back to the original color. This is why I love adjustment layers. Nothing is committed until you actually flatten it as a PDF or a JPEG. As long as you keep it as a PSD, a Photoshop document, all of your layers and choices to revert will still be there. Now, this is a little bit of a nuance, so I'm going to get rid of those little highlights there because I think in my translation they might look like mistakes. So I'm going to hit I for my eyedropper tool, make a selection, make sure I get the true black to this image, and then grab a brush. I'm going to need a little bitty guy, something maybe 5 or 7 pixels, and then just brush out those typeface highlights. I'm going to leave the big ones. I think those look great, but this one would probably look like a mistake. I think I'm going to keep that one there because it follows that line so nicely. Command minus to zoom out, take a look at everything. This looks great. Come back and check out the final project in one of our later tutorials. Thanks, guys.